Hi friends, thanks so much for joining me today. So in today's card tutorial, we're going to be making a cool pinwheel tuck card, I think it was called. I saw it on YouTube recently and I was like, oh, let me try to make this. It seems so easy, so I figured I'd make it with you. Now I am using the Christmas Tags and More designer series paper. It also comes with these die cuts. There's 2 sheets of each, so really, really pretty paper. So let's get started. I will show you some of the product that I'm using. And keep in mind, you can use anything that you have on hand, but I am going to use these stylish shape dies. I've already taken out the second smallest square, and then I'm using the Jolly Holly stamp set and the 2 of the dies from here. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I am going to take my 6x6 inch piece of designer series paper from that Christmas Tags and More, and we're going to score this all around at 1.5 inches or 4.5 inches, depending on what you know. I like to say 4.5 inches. It's just easier since it doesn't have like the half measurement on the other side, but you can do whatever you like. So we're just going to score this, and keep in mind when you're scoring designer series paper, you don't want to score too deeply because the paper could rip since it is thinner than our cardstock. So keep that in mind when you're scoring designer series paper. And one more. So you're going to score all 4 sides at 1.5 inches. And you have one more to go. Okay. And there we go. So I am just going to fold these inward just so I could see where my lines are. Sometimes with the printed paper, it's hard to see those lines. So I like to just fold them. I'm not going to burnish them yet. I get that one here. Okay, so we're just going to fold these just gently because what I'm going to be doing is cutting off 4 corners of this DSP. So, and you can use either your paper trimmer to cut those off, or you can use your scissors. It's your preference, whatever you like to use. So basically we're going to take these little corners here and we're going to cut each one off. Now you want to save at least 2 of these. So here, let's do that quick. I'm going to do it with my trimmer, just so that I'm more exact. So I'm going to line this up at 1.5 inches. And I'm going to close my arm down. Then I'm just going to bring it to the 1.5 inches. And I could see that on the other side of my trimmer. Let me bring this down a little. So you could see there's a tick mark here, right over here. So I just went down to the 1.5 mark. All right, let's zoom back out. And then I'm going to lift that up and do the same thing. Put the score line in the track, and I'm going to cut down to 1.5. So you'll want to do that for all 4 of these squares. You want to cut them out, and like I said, you want to save 2 of them. So let me do one more. Again, I'm lining that up in the track. And I'm going to go down to 1.5. And about there. Do the same thing. We're going to cut this other piece off now. So 1.5. And again, like I said, it's your preference whether you want to use the scissors or you can use the trimmer. I find that for me, the trimmer is more exact and I don't have to worry about, you know, being all crooked, right? Because, okay, so that's that. I think we're done with the trimmer. So I do have a piece that I did ahead of time. Just going to take that out of my little, what are we stuck on here? Seem to have a little piece of glue there. Okay, so I'm just going to take that off. So here's my piece I've already done. So let me just put these pieces aside for a minute. So basically you want to decide whether you want this side to be your inside or this side. I am going to do this as my inside. So I want to flip it over, okay? And then I'm going to fold these in again. And I'm going to burnish them. Now you can burnish these all. And just do every one. So you have some nice crisp edges. All right, we've got all four. So I want this to be my inside, right? So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to take my right corners of each piece. So I'm just going to take this here and I'm going to fold it. Right? I think I'm doing this right. I hope I'm doing this right. Let's see, because I want these. No, I think I did that wrong. Okay. So I want it to go, this is going, what did I just do? I want to have this. Okay, so I want this to be on the outside. So I want to fold this. This is the most confusing part for me. So I want to fold that. So I'm just taking a corner and folding it in. Then I'm going to rotate it a quarter and do the same thing on this one. And you don't even need a scoreboard. You can just, you know, eyeball it and burnish it with your bone folder. Turn it a quarter again and do the other one. And then you just keep going. We have one more to do. And this is the last one. And we'll just burnish that. Okay, so now we're left with this, right? So this is going to be the inside. Okay, our inside, inside, and then the inside. So it basically looks like this, right? So then we're going to take this one piece and we're just going to tuck that in. So there's your cool pinwheel. Isn't that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? I think so. Okay, so we're going to open this back up because we need to decorate the inside. As I said, I'm going to use one piece of this because I wanted to have this on the inside. Then I'm going to use a basic white piece. All right, so I think I'm going to do a little die cutting first before anything else. Okay, so I've got all my dies in here. All my parts and pieces. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so this piece is going to go here. So the way this is going to lay is this is going on the outside here. Now I trimmed this a little, I left this a little bit longer because it's easier for me to cut the along the edge rather than trying to figure out, is this the right size? So that's why I did that. So that's that piece there. Okay, then we're going to lay these two pieces on top here. Okay, pretend they're straight. I think we're good, right? And then I'm going to take this piece. This one's going over this piece, like so. What is this piece for? I feel like I have an extra piece. Oh no, this is going on the inside. All right, so that's going to go on the inside here. Then I'm going to take this piece that way, and then we'll have the die cut with the sentiment, and I'm going to die cut out of these pieces as well. So I'm going to die cut the square from that piece, let's see, the label from this piece, and then joy from that piece. Can we use the small one? Can I use my little mini cut and emboss machine? I'm going to try to. Takes up so much less space, but sometimes you need that big one. But as long as I can fit this one piece through there, I think I'm good, which I think I can. Yeah, it just fits, So that's 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to center that die there. And okay, there's the plate. I'll line that up. Oops. Okay. If I used the big one, I probably could have cut everything all at once, but you know, this was handy. All right, so let's do Joy. Again, I'm going right in the center because it doesn't matter. That's going to be hidden. All right. And nobody will ever see it. Meanwhile, we were smart and we saved our paper. Some cardstock saving tips for you. All right, and then we have one more to do and we'll be done with our die cutting. So now this piece here is going to just fit. So make sure I get that right in the center. Get my plate. Line that up. Okay. All right. So that's all the die cutting we have. You know what? I feel like I'm missing a piece. I am. I'm missing one piece of white cardstock. So I think I need to cut that, or I left it someplace. I'll be right back. All right, let me cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. That will be for the inside, right? I don't have it in here. Let's just make sure. I think I just have the soft seafoam. I do. All right, so this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. 3 3/4. By 5. So I'd love to know in the comments, have you completed making your Christmas cards? Do you send Christmas cards? I have to go through mine and see what I have. I haven't counted them yet, so I don't know. All right, so let's see. Let's pop out our dies now. So I don't need this. I don't need this. I do need this. This we can put aside. This here. This I need. And this I need. Okay. Let's pop this one out. Get my take your pick tool. So I need to go through mine and see what I have made and what I still have to make. So that's good. I love this chunky Joy. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, look at that. It was a piece of scrap. Piece of scrap. That's okay. Scraps are good, right? All right, let's start putting this card together here. All right, so I'm going to start by layering this on top of here. And then that piece is going underneath here. We've got this on top of here. All right, good. So let's start doing this here. All right, so for this piece, I have to be careful. Actually, you know what? Let me lay this piece down since I cut it bigger than I needed. So let's go probably about here, maybe. Right? What do you think? I think right about there. Yes, because that will leave me room down here for my label. If I can grab it. I'm going to put that. And then we're going to put Joy over it like so. Okay, so I think that's a good position for this. So let's add some glue. And I have to remember to keep away from this edge because I made it a little bit longer than it needs to be. All right, so we're just going to line this up here, right about here. Can wiggle it around a little bit. Okay, that. Then let's layer our white piece over that. Let me just make sure we still have room. And we do. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. We're out there, 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so next we'll layer this piece. So do you do that with your cardstock? Do you try to save by cutting centers out, die cutting pieces from the centers? I think that's such a great paper saving tip. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if you do that as well. All right, let me cut this off so I don't forget. So let's see, we're gonna just cut this right here. All right. And then I'll add this piece over top of that. Center that. Okay, then I'm going to add this piece to that, but I'm going to close it up just because it'll be easier to add it as it's closed. So see, you can't even see those holes. Now, let me just fold this down a little bit better. I don't want it popping up too much, but I do want the recipient to know that they need to open that to reveal a little message. So hopefully they'll figure that out. Got a little bit of glue on my finger. Just put that right there in the center. All right. So that's that. So far we're doing pretty good. All right, let's open this back up. And let's put this piece down. This has a tiny bit of a border. And then I'm going to put this like that, as in a diamond shape. Funny how squares can be diamonds, right? But all you have to do is change their orientation. All right, so we're going to put this on the center. Right. Or center-ish. I think that's my new favorite word, center-ish. All right, let's do the inside piece, and then we'll do our stamping. And finish putting put the finishing touches on this card. Now, I don't even have a sample of this card. This was my first attempt, and pretty happy with myself. I think it turned out pretty good so far. Of course, we're not finished yet, right? No, we are not finished yet. But it's really not a difficult card to make. All right, let's, I'm gonna put Joy down with glue, and then we'll pop up the rectangle, the label. Just finishing to add some glue here, and then we'll center that up. See if I can grab it. There we go. My fingers are so sticky. All right, so let's put that right about here, let's say. Okay, let me get some hand sanitizer because my hands are so sticky right now. All right. Okay, then we'll put this on with dimensionals. You know what? I don't think I have any large dimensionals in here. Do I have these? What do I have in here? I swear somebody's been going through my stuff in here. Because I thought I had a whole pack of dimensionals. But it doesn't look like it. Where's my scissors? Does not look like it. All right, I think this should be fine. All right, so let's put this down and then we can do some stamping. All right, so we're going to add this to the end here. Again, trying to find the center point. Okay, there. All right, let me close my glue and let's get our pierce mat to do our stamping. And let's see what do we have here. And then I need this piece as well. All right, so the poinsettia is going on the inside. All right, so let's. All right, so I'm going to stamp this on the inside. Just got my finger. So may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. We're going to put that right here. And I'm using garden green and real red. All right. Then we're going to do holly jolly in garden green as well. Right about there. Perfect. All right, we're done with the garden green. Let me do the real red. All right, so I'm going to first use my Versamark, then my real red. Okay, so we're going to ink the poinsettia in Versamark, then we'll add real red to it, and basically what that does is it, oh, I see a cat hair on there. For less staining. Oh, I smudged it because there was a cat hair there that I want to get out. All right, let me redo that on the other side. I don't like the way that turned out. All right, let's do that on the other side. So I need to, where's my garden green? Okay, close this up. Then, I don't remember if I cleaned that, but we're going to clean it again. I'm going to do Versamark. Now, it still does stain a little bit, but not as much when you do Versamark first. All right, we're going to put the poinsettia here. Put another one up here. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. All right, let's bring the card back in. So I'm going to put Holly Jolly in the center. Okay. So close this up again. That. And let's put this piece inside. Make sure I get the right side. All right, there we go. Let's see, let's add some pretty traditional sparkling sequins. Yes, these are perfect for this card. Add a little bit of sparkle, right? So let's see, do we want to do, I think I want to, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to dot the eye with this pretty one. Right, doesn't that look pretty? I like it. Then, let's see, should we add a red one down here? Okay, it's staying there now. And then we'll put one of these over here. So, right, should we add more or is that good? I think that's good. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Isn't that just pretty? Look how gorgeous that is. And then you have your little pop-up message right here. Holly jolly, very fun, with, and then the inside message. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. So pretty. Let me know what you think about it. Give me a thumbs up and like, comment, and share my video with your crafty friends. It'll help me grow my channel. Until next time, bye-bye.